guys, welcome back to Clockwork Dan's Needles for another breakdown of Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode number 2. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed. We are aiming to hit 1k of subscribers by the end of the season. And if you haven't already, there is a poll going on my main post. So if you hit posts, you'll see my main poll. I am running a poll to let you guys decide what my next costume prop build is. I'm going to make a prop from the winning franchise. Have a little look. Made in Abyss is on there. So if you want to give Made in Abyss a bit of love and want to see me make something from the world of the Abyss, make sure you go and give yourself a little vote over there. This was another fantastic episode. I really can't wait to break it down. So let's dig in. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the artwork, the world that has just been built by the artists, bringing it all to life. This could be a screensaver, a backdrop. This could literally just be one of those pieces of art that you see somewhere. It's absolutely gorgeous, very natural landscape, and these human buildings that are built within, they have adapted to nature. They are building with nature, not destroying things, but they are building inside of things, building around them. Jaw-dropping moment. I think one of the biggest things for me with Made in Abyss that I love pieces is the world. It feels full. Every single thing down here is explained. They talk about the landscape, the lighting, everything around this abyss just feels like it's alive. It is nature. Things live down here. That just reminds me that there are places in our own planet, down in the Mariana Trench. There's still life in the most hostile of conditions, finding a way and making it. And I absolutely adore this week's episode of Made in Abyss because we are 6 layers down. Beyond the point of no return, apparently, things are still making a life for themselves down in the abyss. It is really, really light, and I'm wondering if the water above is acting a bit like a magnifying glass. It's catching all the light and then filtering it. Does make me wonder if they have day and night cycles. Rico does take off her jacket saying it's too hot. That would make sense if it is filtering the greenhouse effect. We do get a look at our OP. Absolutely love the motion where we come out of the abyss to come up to go down. Beautiful emotions. There's a lot of characters floating around, flying around, lots of gorgeous transitions. Really good song as well. I actually think I prefer the ED song to the OP, but there's more going on in the OP. I absolutely love the fact that we're following 2 groups of travellers. For now, it seems like they're separate. There's a few moments where they seem to interact with one another, showing you they're definitely going to meet each other at some point. The theme of the OP seems to be the idea of helping each other out. Everybody's helping. Everybody is pulling each other along. It's beautiful. I love the animation. I love the lighting. I love the just art style as well. Really, really nice. And I'm so happy that this is the OP. I can't wait to do my midway review where I get crowned top OP, top ED. I wonder if this is going to make it up there. I've already got a list starting to formulate, and there's a lot more EDs this season that I really, really like than OPs, but we've got to wait for some of those OPs to drop. Are we past the point of no return? We're told at this point that there's no returning. You can't go back. The map just cuts off. At this point, Rico's mother's map is done. At this point, she's only talking about food. That does make me wonder, did she settle down? Is there a point that she just couldn't go any further? She can't go back and she can't update her map or anything. Did she just settle down, eat food? And maybe that's the point, that this place is really good for very good food. And obviously food does feature a lot on this map as well, telling you you can eat this, which is a basic instinct. If you are traveling and you get hungry, you're going to be looking around the environment trying to work out what can I eat without killing myself. Trailblazers is now going to be the map that Rico draws herself, and I can't wait to see her adding things on there as well. But the big question on my mind right now is Rico's mother alive? It's believed she's dead, but is that the case? Is it more that she's lost in the abyss and obviously she can't return? Is there a possibility she's still going to be down here somewhere? The world building this anime goes through is just insane. The world is alive. Every single creature is in the map. It's described. We can look at the way that the dragons are and these little creatures which lay eggs, and the landscape is gorgeous. The abyss is still, of course, the abyss. So we've still got some very creepy phenomena going on. We've got these geothermal vents, which are terrifying. We do have geothermal vents in our own world, but they don't scream. Not that I'm aware of, because obviously they're underwater. These geothermal vents are way down in the Mariana Trench. I'm using that as an example because it's the deepest point on the earth that we are aware of just yet. Geothermal events in the abyss just scream, and that high-pitched scream is terrifying. And then it rains down fiery death upon everything in the area, which might explain some of those melted constructions, those melted monuments that we're seeing in the abyss where we are right now. I love it, and it's a nice bit of explanation to why things look the way they are, because it's melted rock, it's melted stone. I would say that the geothermal vents are scary, but I believe Rico's appetite is even more scarier. Eating food that's moving would just make me throw up. I know we have people eating octopus things alive. I can't can't do it. I don't think I could do it. I think the idea to me is just bleh. Even if it was fried, and I do say they look better fried than they do in an egg, but I couldn't do it. It would be the natural instinct to find food, to find something to eat along the way. Rico does surprise us by saying she's eaten it before, which confuses me because she says she's had it in a cave raider situation. Something from above has found its way down and eventually evolved. So even animals may be evolved, and that's why it tastes like the core animal that it's come from. So whatever you ate up in the abyss has now turned into this down below. I did doubt that sending anything from this layer up would be pointless. It's going to get stuck in the water. It's going to get stuck on a rock, get eaten by a dragon, which is what actually happens. At this point, that's just a normality. The creep factor turns up to 11 pretty quickly as we find out we're being stalked. And it's not even just being stalked. Somebody has gone in whilst you're asleep. Somebody has taken your hair, taken your things without setting off Reg's done with his arm, and he would obviously feel the snagging. Terrifying, because that stealth level is insanity. I think we know what creature or being has. I have a feeling it's the girl we saw, maybe, but she is in the OP. So whether she's still in that form or not, I'm not quite sure. But we do see this being moving around really, really quick. And even in the OP, we see, I think it's just a tail of luff as it moves. That's just showing you how quick this thing is. To the lengths of going this creepy to steal something, to write on a map, then to go CSI level of creep factor. Does this being mean harm? This is a really creepy way of going about it. What is the purpose of going that creepy to get somebody's attention? Because they're clearly luring them to a point where they want to meet them or something. Yet again, tease for some absolutely gorgeous scenery, some beautiful lighting, some gorgeous world building. Absolutely gorgeous. With the abyss, it's all about wonder. Terrifying wonder. Creepy as F. Wonder. That for me is the experience when it comes to the abyss. 1 minute I'm like, this is gorgeous, amazing. Next minute I'm like, oh my god, get me out of here, quick. The creep factor up to 11 and going all Blair Witch cult on us. This next section was like, oh, that's terrifying. That is mildly concerning. Someone sewed up a butt and stuffed it with hair. That is a new level of creepy. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going to top that, but it's the abyss. It will definitely top it at some point. But knowing that a being has done this, creepy, unnerving, I wonder why they've gone to this length. Is it just going to be a miscommunication type thing? We're doing this to protect you, our weird customs or something. Or is it really creepy? Do they mean harm to our group? But I have a feeling if they meant harm to the group, they wouldn't be alive anymore because this being had the ability to get up to them really, really close. That if they wanted to strangle, let's say, Rico, they could have. Kevin Penkin's gorgeous soundtrack really comes out during a travel sequence when we're heading down into the village of the Hollows, I believe it's called. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the colours. I love the shadows. I like the fact that we can see the dragons flying above the clouds. That is absolutely gorgeous. I also love the tower. Seeing the tower in the middle and have this black space, this negative spacing around it. Really nice composition technique there. You are drawn to the tower because it's the lightest part on the screen. So the Hollows, or the humans of the past, I believe that these beings are the non-human forms of once upon a time humans, and this is what they have become. We were told that Bondred was conducting a lot of experiments. Are some of those results? They have to be the results of what was going on because he was dropping them down really quick, then bringing them back up again. Like Mitty, this is them because some of those do have a Mitty type feel to them. I love the way that the guy moves, this big main being which looks like a horse with legs that move. I like the creep factor because it also makes me think puppetry, and I like that really nice aspects of a moving puppet almost. You can imagine that maybe they've looked at a puppet in the way that the puppet moves. Absolutely love the ED, and it is Myth and Royd if you maybe think you've heard it before, and they've done the ED to Tanya of Evil, I believe, and that song went viral. I love Myth and Royd. I love their stuff. This ED is absolutely gorgeous. I think the song's going to rate highly for me, but there's not too much going on. We are simply following organics. We're following these beautiful like chalky outlines of organic, turns into a water drop, then maybe turns into life. So maybe it's following the idea of the threads of life, that even in the darkness, life finds a way. Just to quote the Lord Jeff Goldblum. The question at the end is it possible to go back to the surface and a human to maintain their form? We're now at the village of the Hollows. That is a very big question. Is it possible to return? That does seem to be a thing, like people want to be able to come and go, but also I do think if you've gone that far and you know that you can't return, if you've got into your head that you can't go back, would you want to go back? Because you've made the sacrifice of going down in the first place. Even if you do somehow make it, there is no guarantee you're ever going to go back down again. It could just be a fluke. It could be a one-off that you've got down there. So I don't know if it's possible, but they do seem to be teasing the idea, and I guess that's a natural thing. We're here now. Would it be possible to go back? I know there's this curse, this strain on your body if you do try and go up, but is there a way? Because we have things like these dragons that can go through curses and stuff. These dragons are apparently something that can go all the way up and down. What makes these creatures tolerate it compared to a human body? So it's going to be interesting to study that idea and see if there's a way for our characters to maybe one day go back and tell all those guys up above the story that they've gone through. So another fantastic episode. Absolutely love the richness that this anime brings. Beautiful world building, the beautiful colour, the horror as well, that creep factor this week as well. Does our new character mean harm? Is it the girl I'm thinking? It might not even be the girl that I'm thinking of. Maybe that's the form she took on. Maybe she tried to ascend and that's what happened to her. Maybe she tried to go back. Very excited, guys. Can't wait to see what next week brings. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Make sure you go and vote in my poll. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.